Hi, welcome back to Travel Destination. If you're not sure where you want to go next, you might want to consider planning a trip around a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There are more than 1,000 across the globe. A mix of cities, buildings, monuments, mountains, forests and other natural wonders, all are well worth visiting, but these, in particular, are places you'll want to plan an entire vacation around in Europe. Europe might be one of the smallest continents in the world, but it offers travelers a range of landscapes, cultures, histories, and traditions. There should be no surprise to find some of the world's most amazing World Heritage sites in this continent. Europe has played a significant role throughout history and has established itself as an economic and political power, and its landmarks are a legacy to be supported. Millions of travelers come to Europe with hopes of visiting iconic places such as the Alhambra in Spain or the monastery of Alcobaça in Portugal. Both World Heritage sites and set in wonderfully warm and alluring countries. A World Heritage Site is a landmark or area selected by UNESCO because of its cultural, historical, scientific significance. Southern Europe has 168 sites, Western Europe has 131, Northern Europe counts with 36 and Eastern Europe has a total of 77. One Plitvice Lakes National Park, once a relatively unknown gem, after being splashed across the internet in countless photos, the word about Plitvice Lakes National Park has definitely gotten out. One of the most beautiful national parks in Europe, its allure includes 16 cascading lakes in crystal clear shades of emerald and turquoise. Flowing over the limestone and chalk for thousands of years, the water created barriers that resulted in natural dams which form magnificent waterfalls, rivers, and caves. One of the most impressive natural landmarks in Croatia, visitors can stroll the wooden walkways and cross bridges for a close-up look. To the Acropolis, Greece, one of the world's most iconic UNESCO sites and top attraction in Athens, the Acropolis boasts many ancient ruins, including an amphitheater, a temple to the goddess Athena, and the Parthenon, the most famous of all. For the best experience, arrive early in the morning, right when the gates open at 8 a.m., or late afternoon after the tour groups have departed. The new Acropolis Museum holds many artifacts that were uncovered here and is well worth exploring as well. 3 Stonehenge. England. Stonehenge is the most famous of any stone circle on Earth and one of the most popular attractions in the United Kingdom. On the UNESCO World Heritage List since 1986, it dates back 5,000 years to the Neolithic and Bronze Age, made up of massive, 40-ton rocks that were somehow dragged for miles across the barren plain to Salisbury Hill. As a fence surrounds it, keeping the general public from getting too close, the best way to experience it is to join a special access tour that will allow you to stand in the inner circle. Make sure to explore some of the fascinating nearby attractions too. 4 Giants Causeway, Northern Ireland. One of Northern Ireland's most popular tourist attractions, this UNESCO-listed site got its name from the 40,000 basalt columns that interlock to form what looks like Legos, or perhaps a walkway fit for a giant. Some say it came from an ancient roadway that once used by giants to cross between Ireland and Scotland. What you see today is the result of a volcanic eruption that occurred 50 or 60 million years ago, with the lava cooling to provide its current shape. There are other unique rock formations throughout the area, along with scenic trails for taking in magical coastal views. 5 Mont Saint-Michel, Normandy, France. Set upon a rocky tidal island about 2/3 of a mile off the coast in Normandy, Mont Saint-Michel is a Gothic-style abbey built between the 11th and 16th centuries. The site, which becomes separated from the mainland daily due to strong tides in the area that change quickly, was originally used hundreds of years before as a stronghold of Gaul-Roman culture and power. Walk along the mudflats of the bay during low tide, and you'll be able to capture a fantastic photo of the abbey from afar, especially breathtaking at dusk. It is recommended to join a guided walk across the bay of the Mont Saint-Michel to avoid the dangers of the tides and quicksands. 6 Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The small historic village of Old Mostar is a photographer and nature lover's dream. developed in the 15th and 16th centuries as an Ottoman frontier town, and during the Austro-Hungarian period in the 19th and 20th centuries, its famous Starry-Most Bridge, from which young men on the cusp of manhood would traditionally dive, was completely destroyed in the 1990s conflict, but today it's been returned to its former glory. The turquoise river, refined minarets and shiny white stone make it especially striking, although reminders of its brutal past can still be seen in the bullet hole-laden walls and bombed-out buildings that are tucked among shops and cafes. 7 Alhambra Palace, Granada, Spain. The Alhambra and residential district of Albaicin developed during Spain's Moorish history. A palace, castle, fortress, summer retreat and enclosed town all in one enchanting place, they're set atop 2 adjacent hills, forming the medieval part of Granada. The only preserved Palatine city from the Islamic period, it's considered one of the best examples of Nasrid art in both decorative and architectural aspects. As one of Spain's most popular attractions, you'll need to book well in advance to enjoy a fascinating day. Explore the tranquil courtyards and royal chambers, as well as its stunning Moorish and Renaissance palaces. 8 Diocletian's Palace, split Croatia. Roman Emperor Diocletian decided to have his retirement residence built in what is now Split, back in the 4th century AD. Today, Diocletian's Palace is a maze-like complex that makes up nearly half of the city's old town. The palace resembles a large citadel and was used by the emperor personally and as a military garrison. Filled with Roman, Gothic, and Renaissance architecture, wander the marble pathways to discover centuries-old buildings that have been converted into interesting shops, bustling markets, cafes, bars and elegant apartments that were made from the barracks where Diocletian's soldiers once resided. At its heart is the Cathedral Sveti Dugi, once the site of the mausoleum for the Roman emperor himself. Climb to the top of its bell tower for a magnificent panorama of the palace, city and the sea beyond. 9 Cinque Terre, Italy. Cinque Terre is made up of 5 especially picturesque fishing villages. A travel bucket list destination for many, they feature impeccably preserved architecture and a network of spectacular coastal and mountain trails, but no roads. You'll have to get around on foot, but that just makes for a more magical atmosphere. Walk the trails that link the small villages of Riomaggiore, Manarola, Corniglia, Vernazza, and Monterosso, and look forward to taking in some of the world's most breathtaking views. 10 Thingvellir National Park, Iceland. When Viking settlers arrived in the 10th century, Thingvellir was the site they chose as the meeting place of Alþingi, the world's oldest parliament. Named a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2004, today it's a popular stop on the Golden Circle route. Explore the scenic trails viewing gorgeous waterfalls, streams, and pools, or even dive at Silfra between the Eurasian and North American plates. 11 Kremlin and Red Square, Russia. At the heart of Moscow is the Kremlin, the official residence of the President of Russia. It is a walled complex of palaces, museums, and churches sitting on a hill rising above the Moscow River. The site looms over Red Square, which hosts the colorful domes of St. Basil's Cathedral and the Lenin Mausoleum. Going further ahead, one can find the Cathedral of Christ the Savior, the New Maidens Convent, and the Moscow State University, among others. The Moscow River embankment provides breathtaking views of the Kremlin, which was long ago a residence of czars and which now symbolizes the Russian nation. Thanks you for watching. Subscribe this channel for support. Next travel review.